Hi, I'm Jenny. Welcome to my channel where we focus on using ordinary materials to make beautiful things. It's a Motivational Monday. Yay! I am so happy that you are here and have joined me. Today, I'm going to try something a little different. I have this cut out from a book. As you can see on the back, the text is in German. It was about a 1970s book about crocheting and knitting, printed in German, that I got at a book sale. And so it had some kind of cool black and white, drawing kind of illustration. So I thought it would be fun to play with this one today. I'm gonna put it with a quote into the Motivational Monday journal, the Monday journal. But I can't just put it in there, I think, in black and white. So I am gonna try using some watercolor pencils to paint in some color here. I have a couple of different brands of pencils, and of course this one has nothing on it that says what kind it is. These are colorific watercolor pencils, and then these are General's Kimberly watercolor pencils. So I just have kind of an assortment of watercolor pencils that I have, and I thought that I might try those. There are a couple different ways you can use watercolor pencils. You can color directly on something and then use like either a water brush or just a paintbrush dipped in water to activate the pigment. Or you can use a wet brush and take it directly from the pencil and put it on with the brush. So I think I'm gonna try it with coloring in and then adding the water, just so I can get maybe a little more control. I'm looking for kind of a beigey brown tan, something I can do on the, let's see what color is that I can do for the skin here. I don't really seem to have any skin tone, so we'll just do maybe a really light. Just gonna try just a really light coating here, because we can always go over it again to see how it works. Let's see if I can get a little pigment there, just so it's not super white. Might want a little more than that, so let's try it the other way. Let's try it with getting a little pigment. And you can see here, so you can see on the brush, I'm getting a lot more, good deal more pigment there. See, yep, it may be a little too much. Water that down a little bit, kind of blend it around. This is definitely not watercolor paper, so I don't want to, try not to get it too wet if I can help it, which I have just gotten it, pretty wet. So let me grab a towel here. Should have done that to start with, maybe. And that does take a little bit of the pigment off, but it also takes some of the water off. So, oh, that's a good deal darker with the water, isn't it? So I figure, what the heck, the worst that can happen is, I hate it and paint over it with something else. There we go, getting a little more. Although that doesn't really want to blend out, does it? So, okay, lesson number 1. Don't put the don't put the pencil on the wet. All right. Doesn't blend very well. That's a little better. Getting kind of water out around there. I'm a little sloppy at this, apparently. So maybe if we add just a touch of pink to it, just so it's not quite so just plain brown, just okay, that's a little better. All right. So let's go ahead and do the hands. Get a little pigment on there and do her face as well. So my thought is we'd lay some color down with this, and then if we want to go back with some markers and do something, you know, a good deal darker on top as embellishment, once it's in, get a little pink in there too. Once it's in the journal, that might be a better way to go. So we'll just lay down some soft color here. Just to get a base going, so not really, you know, trying to make it high art here. And of course we don't want to get it too wet because it starts pulling up the paper. So okay, so we've got these two. All right, so now I think we can pick definitely some brighter colors here. I am in favor of reds and purples and things like that. So this one is red. So let's lay down some red here. And again, because we're gonna scooch it around with the water, it will be a little bit lighter, but we also don't have to get, you know, we don't have to cover every single bit of it. So this is a really forgiving way to get color on something. Like if your hands don't work as well, or if you have trouble, you know, gripping something that's really tiny, this would be a pretty forgiving way to get some color down. Because you can always start with just the tiniest bit of color and water, and you can always add more. And that's a lot prettier. See, and I'm looking at this going, you know, we can go in, once this is dry, we can go in with a marker, do some outlining, put some jewels on it. It's gonna be pretty fabulous. So the quote I have for today, I didn't tell you the quote, is a girl should be two things, classy and fabulous. So we're gonna lay down some color here, and then we're gonna make them pretty fabulous with some jewels and bling, because, you know, I can't stand not to have bling, right? So let's go ahead and color some red down here. Let's see, those are probably ribbons, so we'll give those a different color. These look like bows. My goodness, fancy, fancy, fancy. And there is a lot of black here, so, you know, once we start outlining, we can put some white highlights in. We can, you know, definitely use a marker and make these much more fun. But I just thought it would be fun to kind of start with something like this black and white drawing. Okay, so she's got some red. What other color? Let's see, what should we do with that? I want her to look Christmassy. Is this purpley or is this blue? That's purple. Let's go with, how about this nice bright blue with that red? This one is, yeah, it just says blue. 703 blue. Let's see what we can get here. It is July, so I guess we could do them kind of in patriotic, but it's not really my intent. Just, you know, red and blue look really good together, so. Not that there's anything wrong with them being patriotic, it's just not really the intention here. But I want that blue to be pretty dark, so I'm going to put a good deal of pigment on there. You know, and how much you put on will of course dictate how dark it is. Okay, so let's maybe do her bonnet. I'll put another color on for all the trim though. So I'm thinking we can go back and like maybe do some gold or something when we're putting on all of the bling. We can do some gold. Let's do the bows in blue. So maybe we'll put in a little bit of yellow here. Bows down here. We could go with purple, which is definitely, you know, the blue and red together makes purple, so that would definitely work here. Because we could even just blend the two we have to make that. And again, I'm not being super neat because I'm just going to go over it with that water brush. And so this looks all like trim to me, like here. Oh, she's got some blue over here. Those are quite the cuffs, aren't they? And this was a crochet book, so you can imagine, can you imagine crocheting something that looked like that? You know, I crochet a little. Well, it's been a while since I did. I used to crochet more, but I could never crochet anything that delicate or intricate, I don't think. So I got a little much water there. I might try the water brush, although I feel like it puddles water a little more than the actual brush. I really like the change, like when you put pencil down like that and then you just go over it and it kind of just liquefies it. I just think it's fun to watch it change. Now we might go this way because that's the way the pattern's going. Down there. What color should we do her compatriot here in? Maybe we should do her in purple, maybe. I don't know how well the yellow's going to show up. We'll try it and see. Towel here. It's a good idea too, as you're using colors, to kind of set them to one side in case you need to go back, because you know, sometimes there are like 5 shades of red, and if you don't remember which shade you used, it can be a problem, which frequently happens to me. So, you know, I am well aware of how that works. So, that's pretty wet there. I don't want it to be too wet. All right, let's go in with a little yellow here. I don't know how well the yellow is going to show up. Because of this black and white, there's so much dark in that ink drawing, because it is a pen and ink drawing. I mean, it's a reproduction obviously, but pen and ink tend to be a little dark. It's not a lot of negative space here, so we'll lay some yellow down and see what we can get. I am by no means an expert at watercolor, and so I play with my watercolors, and I like to use watercolors because I think they're very forgiving. I like the boldness of acrylics, but I like how forgiving watercolors are, because you know they're easy to go over, they're easy to fix if you mess it up. Just want to make sure I don't have any blue on there. You know, so I think watercolors are pretty forgiving. You can't even really see that yellow, can you? It's way light. Even with the water, I was hoping it would be a little darker when the water hit it. And it was darker a while ago after it was wet, so maybe if we go back in. Oh, that's better. Now we can see it. Now that the page is wet. So maybe that's what we need to do with the yellow. Let's go back in here while it's wet. So I just experiment a lot with my watercolors. I have a couple sets of watercolors, and I really like, I tend to like the really pearly ones, and I didn't get the pearls out today on purpose. I thought it would be interesting to play with the pencils because I haven't played with those in quite a while. So it's always good to try something different with your supplies. You know, if you have a supply that you haven't used in a while and you come across it in your stash, it's always a good thing too. You know, I always think about, oh, I don't want to clean out my stash and stuff like that. But when I clean it out and organize it, I find things that I haven't used in a while, and it's like I forgot I had them. It's like, oh, this is fun. I forgot about these, or I forgot about this, you know, and so I want to use them. I just don't think about it sometimes. All right, let's get a little more water up here, because that yellow is showing up much better in the water. So, you know, it's always good to kind of regularly clean your stuff out. I clean out like my entire studio. I do a reorganization about once a year, which doesn't sound like very much, but it takes me multiple days to do it. So, but then I do along the way, I rearrange things sometimes along the way. Recently, I took a bunch of embellishments and put them in jars and lined the top of a bookshelf with them so that I could see the embellishments in the jars, because I tend to forget sometimes about embellishments that I have. And so, well, that's nice. See, that yellow showing up much better now that we've done that. So I didn't put anything on her hair. I'm just going to leave her hair kind of the black ink that it is. I think that's fine. Although we might want to put, I think we might want to put something on her lips for sure, and her eyes maybe. Definitely want to do that. So I'm not even sure I'll hit that with water. I might just put that in. We'll maybe use that same blue that we used in her dress on her eyes. I know I like to wear things that are the same color as my eyes, because of course it makes your eyes pop. So there we go. So just a little red on her lips. I'm not even going to activate that. I'm just going to leave that kind of a darker. All right, what color should we do her compatriot in here? So she's in red and blue and yellow. So we could do some green. That would look good then maybe, I think, or some purple. Let's see, let's turn us over here. Let's see what that purple looks like. Got a couple of colors of green. It's kind of a blue green. Oh, that one's a very yellow green. It's a darker green. I like that green. Let's see. Purple's very light. Okay, I'm liking that darker green, I think. think that looks good. So she has a couple of different colors going on, but we'll do her over thing here in green, I think, just to her shawl, her coat, wrap, whatever it is. Don't know. It's got fringe on it, whatever it is. See all the fringe? Definitely something I would like. It's got hood and a fringe, so hood and a fringe. It's got fringe and a hood, or a hood and fringe. Oh, not talking the right way today. Years ago, and I still have it. Years ago, we were at the Renaissance Festival, and my mother-in-law bought this beautiful hand-woven cape. It's a wrap. It's a hood. It's got a hood and it wraps around. You can kind of put a clasp on it or just let it kind of hang open. So it's sort of just a, I want to say, I guess it's a cape, but it doesn't have armholes. It's just like a big square, and then it has pieces that come down that go over your arms, and it has a hood, and it's blue. It has like several shades of blue, and it has gold threads running through it, and it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I fell in love with it when she bought it, and after she'd had it for a while, she gave it to me, and that's been many, many years. And that came for the Renaissance Festival probably, I don't know, probably right after we got married, or close to about the time we got married. So I'm guessing that thing is probably 25 years old. And it's still as beautiful as it was the day she bought it and the day she gave it to me. And I love it. It's hardly ever really cold enough here. A cloak, that's what it is. It's a cloak. See, I knew I'd think of the right term. It's hardly ever really cold enough here to wear things that are heavier like that. But when it is chilly enough, I certainly wear it. And sometimes, it's nice in the evening because it's just beautiful. Like, you can just wrap it around yourself. I'm just going to kind of do all of her stuff here in green, and then we can go back and do some highlights and do some other things with markers. You can just even wrap it around like a little blanket or something in the wintertime at night when you're watching TV, that kind of thing. It doesn't get very cold here though, so it's not something that I get to wear very often, but I love it. It's beautiful, and it's hand woven, it's handmade, and the quality is wonderful. So it's one of those things that I think I'll probably keep forever, and someday, probably my daughter will get it. Oh, look, she's wearing a piece of jewelry here. So I'm gonna put just a touch of orange on that so that later I don't miss it when I'm looking for where to put some jewelry on her, right? Oh, I got a little bit of green on my hand. See what I mean about watercolors being forgiving? I got a little green on her hand, and I just wiped it off. So, all right. Oh, we didn't get her fringe down here. This is part of hers. And now I've set my paintbrush down, and I don't know what I did with it. There it is. All right. What color should we do? Should we do maybe her undergarment and her dress part down the red part of the coat down here, maybe in yellow to go with the yellow here? It might look good. We could do that. We discovered. Oh, we could do it in that kind of apple green that was kind of a yellowy green. That was very light, so let's, we discovered with the yellow that if it's really light, we might need to, oh, that's kind of fun. Okay. Just gonna blend that a little bit. That green just didn't want to stay down there on that fringe. There we go. And maybe a little bit of the darker green on the buttons. All right, let's give her some lips up here too. Everybody needs red lipstick, right? I think there's a shade of red for everybody. And then let's see. Let's make her eyes green to match. Her dress. All right. So I think we've got those. That one good and painted here. So let's set it aside to dry for just a second. It's a little wet. You can still see a little bit of the shiny on it. And I'll show you the page we're going to be working in. So back in that Monday journal that kind of just loosely together so that we can take things out, put things in, do whatever we want. So the page here is actually an envelope. Remember, this was the other side of it last time. It's actually an envelope for photographs, which I thought was kind of appropriate. And then I found this, which is, you know, when you buy a picture frame and they have like, sometimes they have black and white pictures in it, printed pictures. This one was for a certificate. It was a certificate frame, so it was like this, and it said, you know, certificate of merit, that kind of stuff. So I cut the center out because I thought it made a really cool little frame. It's embossed. I don't know if you can probably see that on camera or not, but this really has some embossing on it, which is kind of cool. And I thought it would be neat because we could maybe write the wording out around it. So here's my thought. My thought is I'd put the women in the frame. And of course we'll have to trim a little bit off the bottom down there maybe, or maybe not. Maybe we just let them stick out the bottom. That's kind of cool. You know, we could just kind of let them stick out the frame down there. That's kind of neat, huh? So maybe don't want to cut that off. And then the quote I'm going to write around the outside edge. So then it becomes a question of whether or not I want to do anything back here. And I'm thinking I might just leave it because I kind of like the graph paper look. And the rest of it is pretty much covered. There's really just not a lot to see there left of the page. So it's really just a question of whether or not we want to leave that sticking out the bottom. You know, like they're coming out of the frame. Or do we want to move it down and center them? Well, maybe we want to center them. Maybe we'll do that, yeah. Okay, so let's get them in the frame first and then we'll embellish them, I think. Or should we do some drawing on them first? Now let's get them in the frame. So I think, or maybe we'll glue them down. If we cut it to the right size to start with, we should be okay. Scissors. Okay. Trim off the little bottom part here. that's cute. We'll just leave that. All right, and then we can glue those in. Maybe we'll glue them in, do whatever we're gonna do to them, and then put the frame in. Okay. Pretty dry here. They seem pretty dry. A little damp still, maybe. All right. Let's see, where do we want them? I think I want them up a little from the frame, so we want them to right about there. So about 2 from the bottom there. And I'm just using Scotch glue sticks. So I really liked my Yoo-Hoo glue stick, but it ran out. And I have some of these still, so I'm going to use these up, and then I'll buy a Yoo-Hoo again, I think, just because I liked it better. It didn't seemed a little harder. So these are soft, so they seem to go a little faster, which, I mean, it's okay. It's not anything wrong with them, but also it kind of sometimes it leaves little clumps. Now this is not a Scotch Create. I had a Scotch Create, and it did not leave the clumps as much either. So, but I really liked the Yoo-Hoo stick. I think that's the one I'm gonna go back to. But I have a box of these. Oh, I hope that's not going to show. I don't think it will with the frame. Yep. Okay, that's going to be cute. Should we? Yeah, we should go ahead, I think, and draw around them. If we're going to trace around them with some markers, we should go ahead and do that. And then put the frame on. I might even write the words on the frame before I put it on, so I don't have to turn the whole page to get to it. Let's get this stuff glued down really good here. Okay, I'm gonna grab my markers and I will be right back. Got a black one. I thought we'd do some outlining. Looks like it's dry, just checking here. Okay, so that has a little more pop. And what I'll do down there, maybe I'll put some washi tape down there if we need to. So now I think it's time to add some bling. So let me grab some jewels. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. And you can see we're crafting with cats today. So I pulled some jewels and things, but I think I want to put the frame down before we put the jewels on, because that will help us decide where. I may have to. I was going to put it up above here, but then we can see that. So if I move it down a little, that covers my mistake there. That might be a good choice. No, sweetie. No. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I have pulled some jewels and a few embellishments and things. I think before I start putting the jewels on, I want to put the frame on. And I think I want to write my quote on the frame first. So I think it will be easier to do that. Oops, don't want the pencil. So I have, a girl should be 2 things, classy and fabulous. So I think maybe, I don't know if I want a girl should be 2 things, classy and fabulous, or if I want it to kind of go around the edge. I think maybe I want to do top and bottom. I pulled a metallic Sharpie kind of marker. It's not a Sharpie, but it's like a Sharpie, and it's a metallic. So we'll see. Let's see. It's kind of nice nice blue here, so hopefully that will go with this. I'm not going to try to write it very large or fancy because it's kind of a small space, and I want to be sure it gets in there, so... Guess I had more space than I thought I did. I should have maybe we'll put larger down here. I see. There we go. So maybe we'll just put some embellishments, you know, to kind of cover, since I didn't get that quite straight, but it happens. It happens. So move my embellishments to the side here. And let's go ahead and put this on. Now I had planned to put it here, but I kind of messed that up a little bit. So the question is, should I go ahead and put it there? Or should I move it down a little bit and cover? Probably we'll move it down a little bit. So I have some double-sided tape that I'm just going to use, if I can find the end of it. There we go. Because I thought it might be easier to put the frame on with double-sided tape. So I found this in my stash as well. Shockers, I know. They were things like double-sided tape that I didn't know I had. I have some that's the thicker foam, but I didn't know I had any of the thinner tape, which sometimes makes things very easy, you know, to put on. So it's nice to have a choice, because glue can be occasionally a little annoying. Right. Okay. Now let's assume that I can peel the back off. Haha. It's not good when it takes the tape too. There we go. Last one. There we go. All right. Now, I'm trying to get it lined up here. Maybe I should have just done one side and then put this tape on the other, because I really don't want it to stick down. I'm afraid it's going to stick down while I'm trying to line it up. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. There we go. There we go. And I know this is kind of the white and stuff, but I kind of like it with this around it. Maybe we should outline it though, like, yeah, a little outline with this might be in order. I do like the graph paper look on the inside. So we could put some embellishments and things on the outside. I brought some things besides jewels. So we go. Probably leaning over in front of the camera, and all you can see is my thin hair. Alas. Okay. Yeah, that's a little better with the outline on the outside, I think. So let's start dressing it up here, because it definitely, you know, to be fabulous, we definitely need some bling. Bling is fabulous. So I have some yellow. I thought we would put on her cuff right here. Maybe this cuff as well. Okay. Should we put some up around here too, or should we put a different color there? I like the yellow on the cuffs. I think I like the idea of the yellow on the cuffs and then up around her little bonnet here. You know, because we definitely need to be fabulous, right? Definitely need to be fabulous. So maybe right here. Yeah. Oh, I like that. That's good. Okay. Let's see. I brought some red, but I don't know. I don't really want to do anything with the red. I've got some little blue pearls as well. They're kind of a light blue. And then I've got some blue. Let's go ahead and put some green on so then, you know, we're not overbalanced, but I am seriously considering a little bit of blue maybe right here. Let's see, on the green, I'm thinking definitely up around her face, her little hood here. Her hood needs to be all bejeweled, because we want her to be just as fabulous as her friend next to her. I like that. That's good. Maybe a couple more. Where our hood comes in right here. It's almost a halo, isn't it? Oh, right. Oh, she needs a jewel or two right there on her wrist, since she's wearing something there. Not sure what. Okay, like that. We could put a few more down here maybe. No such thing as too much bling. You guys been hanging out with me for a while, you know that. At least that's my philosophy, right? Bling is definitely fabulous, I think. I know a lot of people don't care for it, but all right, I like that. Let's see. I may want to put a few little on her. Maybe not every one, but we could do every other. Right there. One more. Top. All right, now do we want blue jewels, or do we want some blue? Because I'm thinking right here, like just on the ribbon here. Now let's hold them up and see, right? You never know until you put it up in front of it and look at it. What do we think? Well, those might be, you know, that might be a good choice, because it's not the jewels. Just do some little pearls. bow here. You know, I have to say I really like the little sticky gems. They're just so easy. They just make life easier. Yep, okay, I'm liking that. Okay, so we got some bling on there. Let's see, what else do I have? Brought this in case I wanted to cover up that bottom. Oops. So this is just a piece of paper I had done some pearlescent paint on a piece of paper that I tore out and then put this on it. So, you know, don't know that we really need anything like that. Have this lace, which may be just a little too much. I think it's a little too big, but I have this little flower. That's cute. And I like that it's old-fashioned looking. This is cut from one of those calendars that you buy. It's printed on felt, and then it comes with sequins and beads, and you sew the sequins on. My mother-in-law used to do one for me every year, and at the end of the year, I would cut the calendar part off and keep all the flowers and stuff. So here's another piece that has like a butterfly and flowers and stuff. And that might be a little large, but I definitely think that could go there. These are cut from maybe a pillowcase. I'm not sure. These pieces have a little embroidery on them. I'm thinking those might be too much. I do like this. So bring my other glue. I didn't bring my fabric glue with me over here, so I'm going to try this. If it doesn't stick, I'll just re-stick it with the fabric glue, but we'll try this one. And that kind of fills in my gap up there and fixes that a little bit. Covers up a little bit of that writing that was on that edge too. Okay. I don't know, what do you think? I think we might be done. I know I don't usually leave things white, and I'm looking at that background and now I'm thinking maybe not. Maybe I should put a little watercolor in the background. Yeah, I'm feeling like it might need that. I don't know, I'm gonna look at it for a few minutes and then I'll decide. So I'll be back to let you know. Okay, I looked at it for a minute or two and I decided I just didn't. As much as I really like the graph paper looking, since it's here and here, it just doesn't look quite finished. So I am going to use my metallic accents, semi watercolor paint, just to put a little color in the background here. So I think I'm thinking this kind of bright gold, this one, because it looks like it's gonna go with the stuff we used, and it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be a lot. It's just a little, just to fill it in, and you'll still be able to see the graph paper back there. Right? So it won't cover it completely. So that's better. Just needs a little color there. I thought I could like it plain because the girls were so blingy, but apparently not. Apparently I just need a little bit of that fabulous gold. And this is, since it's metallic, it's really kind of cool looking. So I'm liking this better already. Would have been a lot easier to, do it and then put them down, but sometimes we don't know we want something until it's too late to do it the easy way. At least that's true for me. I think later, oh, if I'd have just planned that a little better in advance, I could have avoided doing it the hard way. But you know, I don't really plan these. I kind of have an idea, like I pick a quote, I pick a focal image or something I want to use, but I don't really plan them. I just kind of come along and do them. Maybe a little more over here because it's not quite as gold. So, you know, a lot of times I just kind of, it is just whatever I end up doing. Oh, now see, I like that, but now that we have that, should we do something out around the edge? Should we do the metallic blue? Since we did a little metallic blue there, should we do this metallic blue? I think maybe we should. You know, I have a hard time stopping, right? And I know that that's part of the art of it, of course, is knowing when to quit, but I am, you know, I do it for myself, so it's okay if it's not high art and I put a little too much on it, then oh well, it's okay because I like it. So that's, you know, that's the thing you just have to remember. You just have to do it until you like it, because it's your page, it's your journal, it's your artwork, it's your reminder to yourself, right? And this is my reminder to myself that, you know, I only have two things I really need to be, and that's classy and fabulous. And I think classy is just one of those things that envelops, you know, so many different things. It's like, to me, classy is somebody who is kind and helpful and, you know, positive, right? I don't, you know, sometimes we confuse somebody, say, you know, oh, classy, whatever. It's like, you know, a class act is somebody who's helpful and kind and, you know, treats everyone with kindness, you know. And so I think being kind and non-judgmental and towards others and towards ourselves, you know, is what makes us classy. So, you know, if I can be that, and then I can be fabulous, then, you know, that's enough, right? So to me, fabulous is lots of bling and color, because that's what I like and that's who I am. So if I can be blingy and fabulous and classy and kind and, you know, that would be enough. That's enough. Oh, see, that looks so much better. Oh, why didn't I just do that to start with? I should have known, right? I should have known. All right, I think we're gonna call this one done. I hope you had a good time today. I hope you did some work on your own journal. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for joining us. If you've been here a while, thank you so much for staying with me. I am so happy to have people commenting and talking to me. I just love it. It makes me feel like I have friends out there to talk to. So it's really cool. I feel like this is a really great community. The art journal community is friendly and kind, and it's a good place to be. So thank you for accepting me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me. If you haven't hit subscribe, the button is at the end. If you like the video, please hit like. Please leave me a comment or a message. I'm happy to talk to you. Until next time, remember, use what you have to make your life more beautiful. Bye.